Hey everyone, Austin from Cultivated Culture here, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to write a job-winning resume bullet so that you can level up your resume, you can start landing more interviews, and eventually turn those into more job offers. So the biggest mistake that most job seekers make when it comes to writing their resume is that they focus on summarizing their experience rather than actually selling it. And a summary is when you write a bullet that just focuses on the actions that you took, but doesn't really provide any tangible form of outcome or results that you drove. And that's the biggest thing that companies want to see. They're hiring you for the value that you can bring to the table for them. So if we only share the actions that we took, anybody can take an action. Everybody that is also applying for this role, all of your competition who is at a similar level of experience and skill, they can all take those same actions. What's going to differentiate you is actually having that outcome, as well as sharing that outcome, illustrating that outcome and experience in a very compelling way. And so that's really what we're focused on when we're writing great bullets, illustrating our value and doing it in a way that pops off the page that really grabs the reader's attention. And we basically want to do that from top to bottom on our resume. So in this video, what I'm going to show you how to do is basically how to write a job-winning resume bullet step by step. And we're going to start with this bullet right here that I have highlighted. This is a great example of a bullet that focuses on a summary. So in this case, it's developed a sales plan for agency holding company exceeding revenue targets. So all we're really saying is that we developed a sales plan for this company and that we, according to us, exceeded revenue targets. But what we don't understand is what went into that development. We don't understand how much revenue we're talking about or how much we beat our targets by or how consistently or how long that happened. There are a lot of questions that come up when I read this bullet and not a whole lot of answers. So if we want to write a better bullet, we are going to use our Resi Bullet tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this bullet here, and I'm going to go to resibullet.io. You can also go to our site and you can hover over free tools and go down to Resi Bullet and it will take you right to this page. Now I'm going to paste this bullet in and hit click to analyze. And what Resi Bullet is going to do is it's going to take this bullet and it's going to map it to a framework that we've built out that we have found aligns with resume bullets that lead to more interviews and more job offers. And essentially what that looks like are resume bullets that, first of all, meet a certain length criteria. They're typically between 12 and 20 words, so long enough to share information, but not too long that we basically take up a ton of space on our resume and create this text block that readers just aren't going to read. And then we have a character range for that as well, just to make sure that we're keeping things consistent. When we're talking about operating in that range, we want to have a certain proportionality to the different aspects of our bullet. So we want our hard and soft skills to make up about 35% of our bullet. Then we want action words and measurable metrics to make up about 15% each. And then the rest is just going to be common words, which the math dictates being about 35% in this case. So we can see this bullet here. We have a score of 31, and this is heavily driven by action words. We can see we're at 30%, which is a lot higher than our target. And we're low on hard and soft skills and low on measurable metrics. And so what I would want to do here is I would want to look at this and I would want to say, where can I get more hard and soft skills and where can I get more measurable metrics? So I might come up here and I might just adjust the end to get started. So I might say resulting in $13 million of incremental revenue. And then I might say something like 116% versus quota. So then let me analyze this again and we'll see what my score is. So now we're at a 60, and that's pretty good. 60 is kind of the lowest end of acceptable for resume bullet. So I could take this and I could run with it. But we can see here we're a little bit more balanced. We still need to do a little bit of work on our hard and soft skills, but we're right in the sweet spot for action words. We're right in the sweet spot for measurable results, and we're right in the sweet spot for length as well. And so if we wanted to improve this bullet again, what we could do is add some additional hard and soft skills here. And so let me just go ahead and just put SAS here and see what that changes for us. But again, this is a really easy way for us to keep ticking up our score. So you can see my score improved by 5 points there. And I could just keep adding that in. I could keep adding hard and soft skills to eventually get the green light of 70. You can see your resume bullet history here, which makes it really easy to keep adding changes and tracking your changes. And then you can always copy an older bullet and paste it back in if you need. So our goal here is 70, but hopefully you can see how Developed a SaaS sales plan for an agency holding company, resulting in $13 million of incremental revenue. 116% versus quota is a lot better than what we started with. It's a lot more tangible, it's a lot more actionable, and it's unique to your experience. So let's do one more example here, because we have a lot of people who are not in numbers focused roles. And folks will tell me, okay, great, I'm not a marketer, I'm not a salesperson. How does this work for me? So I wanted to share some advice from this LinkedIn post I created, because there are a lot of different ways that you can get metrics for any role that you're in. So one is time. You can think about how long did it take you to achieve something? Was that faster than usual? Was that ahead of a deadline? If so, by how much? We can also think about scope. So what was the measurable scope of the project that you worked on? How many people managed the project? What was the budget for this project? How many users or customers did this project impact? Scope is a really, really great and easy way to add some measurable metrics and outcomes to your bullet. Another is efficiency or productivity. Were you able to save budget? Were you able to save some of your team members a certain amount of time? Were you able to reduce inefficiencies so that things were more efficient? And if so, for any of those things, by how much? And then comparison is another good one. If you go look back at results that you had gotten previously, or colleagues or previous employees had gotten, and you compare that to your work, how does your work compare to that previous work? You can basically use that previous work as a baseline and then compare the two. And if you're still not sure, the best thing that you can do is go find the team that your work impacts that does have revenue tied to them. So for example, if you're a graphic designer and you're designing decks for the sales team, go to the sales team and talk to them about how many deals they've closed using your deck. Talk to them about the average deal size or the amount of revenue that was generated. Let's say maybe you're a designer that works on images for ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. Go find out, go look in the dashboard, or find somebody on that team to see, how do your ads compare to past ads? How well do they drive sales? This is one of the best ways to go get metrics if you're not sure about the impact of your work. You just go find the team members or the team who is impacted by your work that does have metrics and numbers aligned to their roles, and just talk to them about what you've helped them achieve. That's one of the easiest ways to make this happen. So what I'm going to do here, I pulled up a graphic designer resume example here, and I was just going to grab this bullet, which is produced both e-commerce and non-e-commerce creative website layouts and content for the use of clients. So as we can see here, and I'll just go ahead and refresh Resi Bullet so that we have a fresh slate, but this is a really summary focused bullet, right? This doesn't really tell us much about our outcomes. This doesn't really tell us much about, what results we drove, or even the scope of the project. And so we'll take a look at the score here. But again, it's fairly low. It's a 46, and it's really heavily focused on hard and soft skills. So we need some more action words, and we need some more measurable results. So the first thing that I'm going to want to do, and I also want to look at length. It looks like we're good here, but we're on the upper range. So we want to keep that in mind. The first thing that I'm going to do here is I am going to try to get some measurable results in. So what could we do here? Well, one, we talk about the use of clients. How many clients are we talking about? We also talk about website layouts and content. How many websites, how many layouts? These are great ways to get numbers in here. Also, we produced an e-commerce website. And so what does that look like, in terms of revenue and in terms of scope? How much revenue is that site generating? How much traffic are we seeing to those sites? And so we may take this and we may say something like, let's just say produced e-commerce websites generating, or saying something leading to the generation of, let's just say, 23,000 visits per month, and let's say $1.1 million of ARR. And the way that we could get that information is by going and talking to the clients, going and talking to the people who we've set the sites up for. And so immediately you can see, even though I'm not quite in the range for hard and soft skills, and even though I'm slightly over indexed on common words, you can see I got a 70 here because I met enough of the criteria. So my length is good. My measurable results and my action words are good. And so I could feel confident taking this bullet and putting it on my resume. So again, if you're not sure about how you can add numbers or add metrics in, you can go through that list that I just described a few minutes ago. And I think if you do that and you sit down and you really put pen to paper and think about which one of those best applies to your situation, you will be able to find some of these measurable metrics. And then for the action words, all you need to do is click on this link right here. We have a whole list of examples that you can leverage that you can just plug and play right into your bullets. And that's going to help you get this action word category up. And if you do this for all of your bullets are going to be far more effective. They're going to be far more unique to your experience, and they're going to illustrate the future value that you can drive in the role, which is exactly what companies are looking for when they hire you. Good luck.